Sydney and Melbourne from last night. Okay, just got 4 clips from this game, just a quick one. So we can see here we've got a throw in. Okay, it's 13 versus 13 in that congestion. 26 players out of 36.
No. Leave it.
So
Leave it. No.
it's just a contest here. Sydney get a clearance. Right, so they're already starting the spread. Okay, and they find Amadi here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is pretty much the other players running back here, including, I think that's McLean. Okay, now normally what we see, if he was to look up and do that, he'd go for that kick. Okay, so he's an open player. By the time that kick gets there, he's come in to man the mark, and he's still out here, kicking from probably back here. All right, he can't score, and all you have there is this last Melbourne defender running back. All right, so you lose your connection. You actually lose your connection to goal. So you've got connection from here to here, and from there, from that contest to that contest, but you lost your connection to score. Okay, so most times players will just kick to that, and then we can't play anymore, and then we just kick into numbers. So what we can see, length going back here. All right, these players from here have now got length to there, here, 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 here. Okay, so we've got our connection to goal back. Okay, by these players filling the middle, where Amati was the pivot player from there to here. We've got some pivot players here, there, to this player who's going long here. Okay, we want to find something in this block and to maintain our connection. So this player can keep their goal connection here. But if they have to keep coming back up to here, we can't get to the goals. Alright, so you can see everyone's filled this area now. Alright, and of course Melbourne got their defenders. That's probably May there. Alright, so you can't go long, you've got to kick off the line. And of course Sydney are corridoring at all any cost. Okay. Alright, and there you get this run from behind. Okay, so we don't need to use the midfielders here. We don't need to go along to the forwards here who are outnumbered. Use the defenders, and now we've got this pivot point again. Okay, we don't need to use the pivot point, it's just a reference point that if our mids are here, we want our backs here and our forwards here. Okay, we don't want our mids here and our backs here and our forwards there. We don't want that, and that. Because we're going to lose our connection there, it's too far, and Melbourne can just sit that player back. So we use that bit there, go off the line. Alright, don't really get possession, but then they get a free kick there, and then more to kick the goal. So keep your connection that way. I think that's something very important to teach at all levels, especially at junior level, teenage level, so they can bring that through into senior football. Alright, this is a defensive 50 sort of ball movement-y sort of one. It's just little subtleties that players use. Alright, ball's going to him. Defender. Okay, this defender's going to have to come into there. We've got this player. We've got this player, this player. Okay, we want to stay in this bit if we can. We don't want to go out there if we don't have to. Alright, so we'll move the ball on. Let's get some width. Push those defenders out. Keep an eye on this player. Alright, just have a look there. Okay, he looks over. He knows that other Sydney player is there and that Melbourne defender's there. So he's going to skirt here, drag that Melbourne defender with him. Just a simple thing. All right, he's not going to get it because, look, he's going. He's not even past the kicker barely and he's already ignoring him. But he's opening up space for that bloke who just came in from behind. Okay, and then instead of getting the ball here, where Melbourne want to lock you in like that, you can't actually go anywhere. Okay, we get them back off the line. Okay, and then from there, we're not just stuck kicking down here. We can use the other side of the ground. Okay, we'll look forward, nothing in the middle. Okay, they're pretty well covered in there. So if you can get around them quickly, all right, get them on the outside. All right, drop that mark. Look, we're off. That was Blakey. He would have taken that 50 metres, kicked at 50. But just that little play from Roberts to create that space for that other player. Let's just go back to it. What we normally see in local footy, junior footy, well, it all starts in junior footy. If you're not coached correctly, then you'll just take those habits into your senior footy. All right, he would have just kicked it and stood there. This player would have just stood there and they just wait for the ball to come back and defend. They don't get offensive like they did. That's something to teach your defenders to be offensive as well as defensive. Okay, and you see he takes off. Okay, we're just looking at Melbourne using some lane running off this contest. Collingwood do it in the men's. Melbourne men have never really done it from what I've seen, but their girls do it. AFLW team do it very well. Okay, so they're going to go to this contest here. Let that play. Alright, we can see in two players here coming in. Once they win, then they're back out this way. Create these lanes, and it's just a flick, flick, flick. All of a sudden, in a second and a half, you've come from sort of boundary side, you're in the centre square going corridor towards goal. Right, and the beauty is if you've got the players there, Petrarca gets it and it's just out. It doesn't really have to go to someone because you've got players there. It's just a flick over. All right, here, 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 here. Okay, now we can access this far side of the 50 out of screen. Okay, you can, we get to here, you could even go over there, draw that player, handball over to here. I mean, this is what Collingwood do. They run the ball right through the goal square. They're in the centre square. Sometimes they don't even kick it, sometimes. All right, lane, lane, lane. All right, that didn't quite get there. Okay, the handballs don't have to be perfect either, but they just get to the outside and you got a bit of time and space. Now, preferably if you got that and was able to run with it, you could use this sort of part of the 50 with that Melbourne player there. Then there's players coming behind. You can chip another one over here. Although Sydney are very good at running back, we know that. I'll just give you one last look at that in real time. Okay, you see them come in, they go out. Petrarca knows that's where they're going to be, so as soon as he gets it, he can just flick it inboard. Flick. Flick. Okay, it's just a bit cleaner. They could have kept going again with those three players. Okay, this is just an effort play here. This is what good teams do. Here's Malikan. Right up on here. Has a bit of a turnover. Okay, Sydney still want to play high though, so they're not going to stretch back to the goal line or anything silly like that. Okay, we can still see quite high and aggressive. There's our last two players. So that's Rampy and whoever that is, Van Rooyen maybe. Here he is here. So he probably started about here on that kick. So he spoiled, came back, and now he's on his bike. Not worrying about, you know, don't worry about him. Where's the dangerous space? Alright, so actually, he's the only one who can impact this. So Rampy's going back. He can't touch that player. Which means that should just be a regulation mark. And would have been. But him to come in from the side there. Impact, ball, and player. Then get the ball out of bounds. I mean, that was when we knew we won it. Just a great effort play.